Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Tuesday, November 4th, around 10 p.m. Mountain Time 2025. Count them, two X flares today. And well, the good news is that they are not headed towards Earth, but in the coming days, we're going to have some sunspots to deal with. Holy macaroni. And Kilauea is about to kick up. And it's doing it right now. We're going to get fountaining overnight. We'll be live streaming it over on Rumble at Oppenheimer Ranch Project. So go over there and check out the fireworks. This is the 36th paroxysm since Christmas of last year. And we also have snow to talk about. Lots of snow coming in November. A November to remember. Keep calm. It's boom time. And buckle up, Buttercup. Thousands without power in Maine. It's insane due to strong wind gusts and downed trees. Let's take a look at Power Outage US, shall we? Well, it actually isn't that bad. Just around 7,000 without power in Maine currently, 5,000 in Wyoming, 2,000 in California, 1,500 in Washington State. Actually, the power outage map is looking great. But it's not looking so good in Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa, as Jamaica teeters on the edge of a crisis. Those who survived Hurricane Melissa are struggling in parts of Jamaica where the storm made landfall as Cat 5 and the strongest Atlantic hurricane ever recorded in modern history. Residents are pleading for the most basic supplies, food, water, toiletries. And in this video, you will see how dire the situation has become as parts of the inland nation teeter on the edge of a humanitarian crisis.
We need every help we can get.
So we need food, water, toiletries. You have a lot of persons who are displaced. This crisis is more than what we can bear.
Jamaicans who live in the area where Hurricane Melissa came ashore last week say it's a dire situation, and a massive aid response is desperately needed. This is the crisis of a major hurricane. Weeks, months, and years of recovery, and a nation teetering on the edge of a humanitarian crisis. Across the Caribbean, at least 60 confirmed deaths, and likely billions of dollars in damage. And in Jamaica's ground zero, long lines for any supplies that are actually available at this point.
Our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to all those affected in Jamaica and the entire Caribbean. This is going to be a long recovery. New Jersey weather gusts up to 60 miles per hour could blast parts of the state, sparking wind alerts in 10 counties. Tornado HQ showing really nothing across the U.S. This is one of the quietest days in some time. We've got some snow in upstate New York, some sprinkles in Minnesota as well as Wisconsin, and an atmospheric river moving into the Pacific Northwest. 0 severe weather warnings across the lower 48. And now the full forecast. An atmospheric river continues to impact the Northwest U.S. with gusty to high winds in the Northeast as well. A strong atmospheric river will continue moderate to heavy rainfall with possible flooding, gusty to high winds, and mountain snows for parts of the Northwest U.S. into Thursday. Additional impacts are likely into Friday with the cold front, and a fast-moving storm system will cross the Northeast U.S. Wednesday into Thursday with gusty to high winds and areas of rain and high-elevation snow showers. We also have a major cold front that we need to look into. But the snowfall forecast is looking epic. First, let's take a look at the 2-meter temperature anomaly. It's looking hot across most of the U.S. here Wednesday and Thursday. And here we can see a small pulse of cold coming into the east here at the end of the week. It's going to affect the Northeast in a big way with temperatures 20 degrees below normal for Vermont, New Hampshire, and the Adirondacks. The West Coast will be chilling out as well, but it is not until later in the model here where the cold is brewing here, November 8th and 9th. Take a look at this, the huge Arctic plume. Due to a breakdown of the jet stream, we've got low magnetosphere. It's only weakening, and so we have meridional flow, which means that Arctic air can penetrate all the way to the tropics. which is this pattern we're seeing here Sunday, November 9th. Holy macaroni, dropping all the way down into Texas and even Mexico with temperatures 20 degrees below normal. And November 10th, it's the same. It's even getting worse. Yeah, we've got some major issues here with this cold plume pushing all the way down into the panhandle of Florida by Monday, November 10th. The cold will stay on the East Coast for some time through the 11th and the 12th as it gets pushed out by another front here by midweek in mid-November. Holy macaroni, that's a November to remember. And then the West will be chilling out, and that's going to bring the heavy snows mid-month. A quick look at MLSP frozen plus rain on the GFS model. We'll let that load up real quick here. And we'll move it through. Here's the current model. It's a very quiet U.S. It's not been this quiet in the last year, as far as I can tell. There's been very few days like this. We've got a major storm moving in here Wednesday into the Pacific Northwest. Northern Cali is going to be affected. Some flooding rains. That'll be moving east. And then here is the first real weather for the East Coast this weekend, Saturday into Sunday. Fun day. And we could even see some snow in Michigan. Take a look at that. Michigan by the end of the weekend. Well, heads up, Top Knot. It's coming your way. And that should bomb out over the Northeast, bringing some of the first significant snow to some of the ski resorts there as another atmospheric river moves into the Pacific Northwest, bringing heavy snow to the Sierras in mid-November. Here is the total snowfall. Al Gore won't be happy. We'll walk it through for you as it loads up here. We've got a lot open, so this might be a choppy video tonight. Here we are, Wednesday. Thursday. By Friday morning, we should have some snow in the northern Sierras, as well as high elevations of the northern Rockies. Here is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weekend, where Michigan's going to be picking up its first snow, southern Michigan, maybe even portions of northern Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, all picking up their first snow. Huge lake effect bands will occur Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the Northeast, like a beast. And another system moves into the West mid-November here, and then the models go wild. Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! Al Gore says it doesn't snow anymore. I can't even make this up. Avalanche in Italy kills 5, unfortunately, with a major cold blast forecast for the U.S. We just showed you that. Take a look at this. Unfortunately, an avalanche on Cima Vetrana, the Vetrana Spitze. It's a peak in Italy's Ortler Alps, has killed 5 German climbers. The mountaineers were struck by a slab of snow that broke free at 1600 over last weekend. 3 victims were recovered the same day, while fog and fading light delayed retrieval of the remaining 2 until Sunday morning. Thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected. And the sponsor for tonight's video is Starlink. Thank you, Elon Musk. Starlink is now offering $80 a month service for the fastest high-speed internet with, get this, no upfront hardware costs. The Starlink system is free and free professional setup for many service areas. This is the greatest deal Elon Musk has ever offered. If you want the fastest high-speed internet that ever existed, check out this Starlink offer now. Free Starlink. It used to cost over $500 for the hardware, and now it's free with professional setup and just $80 a month for the rest of your life. Go get it. Links will be below. Seismic update. A huge amount of quakes today, including a 6.0 in the Kamchatka. That uptick is continuing. West Coast rumbling with a 4.0 in Bandon, Oregon. We've got frac activity in Texas, the nexus of the Schmexis. Kilauea is rumbling today as the next paroxysm is about to kick off with 1,500-foot lava fountaining overnight, which will be live streamed on Rumble at Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Indonesia rumbling as well. We've got a slight uptick in activity worldwide due to the coronal hole now facing Earth. Here is the current status live at Kilauea V3 Cam. We'll be going live after the show on Rumble at Oppenheimer Ranch Project all night for the fireworks. Go get it. Worldwide volcano news for the 4th of November. Popo today, 20,000 foot blast, kicking off the list. White Island is becoming quite active. You can see that stringer plume there, puffing and passing to 3,000 this morning. Krasheninnikov, jump started by the 8.8 on the Kamchatka, puffing at 8,000 feet. Here we see White Island, minor short-lived explosions going on all day. Popo to 20,000. Reventador, ongoing volcanic ash. Sangay as well. Semeru, who knew, now you do. 15,000 foot blast there. Fuego, possible volcanic ash. Semeru to 15,000 feet. Shivalush to 15,000 as well. Reventador, ongoing volcanic ash. Sangay to 20,000 foot today. Krasheninnikov continuing to puff past to 8,000. Popo, continuing at 20,000, ongoing volcanic ash at Fuego. 15,000 foot blast at Shivalush. And that could be that Kamchatka rumbler that kicked that off, and that wraps up the list for the day. The strongest solar flare of the space age 22 years ago today happened. The sun unleashed the strongest X-ray solar flare of the space age that we have ever recorded. And guess what? Yeah, it was a limb explosion, like the X flares happening today. This was pretty unique and may have been as big as the Carrington event, although it wasn't Earth-facing. The debris flew harmlessly off the sun's limb. The explosion occurred on November 4th, 2003. It was so intense that at first, no one knew how strong it was. X-ray detectors on board GOES satellites were saturated for 11 minutes. This clipped the readings of X17.4, but clearly it was stronger because it was behind the limb. Eventually, researchers figured it out. Our personal favorite estimate comes from this paper, and we'll open it up here and we'll share it with you tonight. Ionospheric gives size of the greatest solar flare, so that will be linked below. And their determination was X45, which has been confirmed by other studies. We've had X43s and other X flares in the last 100 years or so, and not that much bigger than most of them. I would imagine that the civilization-ending X flare will be much higher. It'll be an X110 or 150, and it's coming soon. The bad news is that this X45 happened on the drop-down of solar cycle 23, and we are now on the drop-down of solar cycle 25, which is where the same place the Carrington event happened, on the drop-down. So in the next year or so, are we going to see an X50? An X70, a civilization-ending solar flare? It's anyone's guess, but don't be scared. Be prepared for every eventuality. We've told you all of them for over a decade, and, well, I'm sure many of you that are longtime viewers are well-versed. It's not a question of if. It's a question of when. And when could be right now. We've had multiple solar flares in the X range in just the last 24 hours. We've had multiple X1.1s occurring as new active regions turn around a limb. These are two different regions blasting out these X flares. The first one is visible to Earth. The second one is around the limb, but those are deadly X flares. The good news, they're just X1, which means nothing more than aurora and fireworks in the sky. How high? Another X flare to report. This time it was an X.1. That was after the X1.8 earlier today. There are those two flares. Boom, boom, back to back in the last 12 hours. We're keeping a close eye on them as the detailed geomagnetic forecast shows extended G1 geomagnetic storming for the next several days. If these CMEs come together, well, the geomagnetic storm kicking off now, we're at KP4 geomagnetic instability, is because the BZ has shifted south, but we do have multiple CMEs, an M flare there, a long duration M, and an X flare behind it, which is going to be accentuating the coronal hole stream as it hits Earth. So we could be seeing some fireworks the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th as far as aurora. So get out and look up. It's boom time. Tonight's supermoon is the largest and brightest of 2025. Not only that, it's the largest supermoon since 2019. That's a long run. And it's not even the full moon. That's tomorrow night. So tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday, the moon will look the same. It's the largest it's ever been since 2019, the largest supermoon of the year. It is the Beaver full moon, supermoon boom. Get out and enjoy it and look up. This is groundbreaking. 6 million year old ice has been discovered in Antarctica, and it's shattering records. The oldest ice ever found is just 2.7 million years old. And this is more than double that. Not only that, it has pristine bubbles in it of air from 6 million years ago. Everything keeps getting older. This discovery doubles the oldest ice ever known. It's insane. Lee and I will be breaking it all down on our radio show Saturday on Rumble. Miocene and Pliocene ice and air from the Allen Hills Blue Ice area, East Antarctica. Absolutely groundbreaking. Researchers have found 6 million year old ice in the Allen Hills region of Antarctica and say it's the oldest of its kind. Samples offer an unprecedented view of Earth's ancient climate and maybe even harbor DNA. Yeah, scientists have pulled a 6 million year old chunk of ice out of Antarctica, the oldest directly dated ice ever found, and it's helping them reconstruct Earth's ancient climate. The record-breaking ice, along with air bubbles trapped inside, is more than double the age of the previously oldest known ice samples, which are 2.7 million years old, according to a new study published on October 28th. All the links will be below. And if you didn't know, tonight on YouTube, Magnetic Reversal News at 8 o'clock, we premiered the latest updates with 3i Atlas, a medieval tsunami, Chiron's rings, and more about space weather and electric universe. Go get it. 84 are watching live, but this is over because let's just refresh this. Let's see what's going on there. Yeah, 307 views. Let's get that up to 1,000 tonight. We would appreciate that. And a new paper coming out in preprint. Human extinction from probabilistic demographic perspective shows that, well, we are the last hominid species. There may have been dozens, maybe even hundreds, 50 and 100,000 years ago of us, but we're now just Homo sapiens sapien. We're the only one left. After the extinction of Neanderthals 41,500 years ago, studies that predict species extinction are saying that, well, the last of us are all gone by 2339. Homo sapiens the extinction will happen rapidly. The world population currently is 8.1 billion. Given the decline in fertility between 2019 and 2024 alone, and employing a probabilistic forecasting method in conjunction with 66% confidence intervals, this study finds that by 2139, just about 100 years from now, the world population will just be 1.55 billion. That means 80% of us are going to die off. That's crazy. And by 2239, just 200 years from now, it will be just 4.9 million. It'll just be 5 million people. Think about that. 100% reduction in population in 200 years. And by 2339, 300 years from now, there will be no humans, according to this paper. Well, all of us listening are going to make it. Yeah, because we're not going to be alive 300 years from now. And if you want to enjoy your life, there's just a few things you should remind yourself every day.
3 things to remind yourself every single day.
Never be a prisoner of your past. It's just a lesson, not a life sentence.
Not all storms come to destroy your life. Some come to clear your path. Forgive people. When you forgive, you become free. And when you let go, you start to grow.